everyone. Welcome to the She's a 10 times 5 show. I'm Lori, and my friends Lisa, Michelle, Randy, and Marcia are mixing it up and joining me to do what girlfriends do best, chat from the heart. Whether it's celebrity stories or serious topics, we're talking about it and coming in hot. Join us as we bring you the aha moments of learning, reflection, inspiration, and of course, a whole heck of a lot of fun. Let's go. This episode is brought to you by...
We are Rich Life and travel strategist Anita Heidemann.
And chef Dario Tomaselli to inspire you to whole live your life.
We were given a second chance in life and know it's never too late.
We create experiences to help people rediscover and connect again through food and travel with our retreats and themed dinner club community.
It all starts with a Mediterranean bundle travel themed dinner party package for Italy, Spain, and France.
Learn more and take advantage of our 35% off special today for some fun with friends again and like-minded community around the world.
So come and join us so you can live your life on this Mediterranean journey that we will change your life for health, happiness with others, and inspired living. So now back to your podcast. Enjoy.
Hey everyone, welcome to She's a 10 Soup to Nuts Quad. We've got Amanda Yoa back in the house. You see how I did that? I've been practicing all damn morning to get that right. Yeah, Amanda's here with us as our, guest host from Philly. And we need to talk a little bit about your mic because it's got phallic tendencies going on.
I don't know what's going on here, but I'm just going with it.
Just go with it. We're rated R anyway.
When there's a D, there is me.
Yeah. Most of us, maybe. I don't know. Okay, let's get this show on the road. We are going to be talking two big topics. And I think they're both soup and I think they're both nuts. So that's kind of great. And the first one I'm going to tee up as your facilitator is the Oscars. We're coming off Sunday night's big Oscar program and the award ceremony. And there's so much to talk about. Let's start with you, Amanda. What were your thoughts?
Well, I had a lot of takeaways. Lady Gaga and Riri, beautiful performances. Jimmy Kimmel, I'm not really a fan of him as a host. I say, if you want to throw some razzle dazzle in there, have Will Smith host. Just have him come out and host. I know they said he could never attend, but they didn't say nothing about hosting. So, use your loopholes there, Will, because we want to see your face again. But, everyone who won, what was his name? Ki Young Kwan, amazing, stole the show with his speech. Best dress for me was Janelle Monáe. That what did she wear? Orange and black was beautiful. Angela Bassett, she looked stunning. And I'm just going to say this, and this may be an unpopular opinion, but I don't really care. She was robbed from Best Supporting Actress. I love Jamie Lee, but I mean, come on. She was owed a debt from her days of Tina Turner. I'm just keeping it real. But everyone else, Brendan Fraser, Michelle Yeoh, Best Picture, we called it. The memorial was so touching. John Travolta coming out with his emotional introduction, and there was a little drama with the memorial because they forgot a few people. So that was Anne Hesh, Tom Sizemore, Leslie Jordan. They were all forgotten. But everything was good. I loved it. I think it was very inspiring down to the after party. I thought it was funny that they were, polishing Jamie Lee's. Did you see that clip where they were polishing? They have someone there that polishes the Oscars.
Yep.
And I bring that up, to say that if there's anyone from Hollywood watching and they need someone to fulfill those shoes, my mother taught me the art of polishing my trophies extensively as an adolescent. So have your people reach out to my people. Thank you.
Okay. Wow.
Yes.
She started us off good. Okay, Randy, you and I have had sidebars about the Oscars. I'm going to end with you. Let's see what Michelle has to say.
Okay, I thought the show, I wasn't going to watch it, and I did, and I thought that it moved along swimmingly. I thought that they did a nice job with keeping the flow. I thought Jimmy Kimmel did a good job, safe, but I thought it was good. I thought some of the jokes were funny. I wasn't like over the top by any means. The part that stuck out to me, I'm a huge Angela Bassett fan. I was really hoping for that win, but what bothered me the most, as it always does, social media had to give their 2 cents. And because she didn't react when she didn't win, she didn't react in the way I guess you're supposed to do, the fake clap and smile, which I don't care who you are. Like if you worked your career for something and you want it, I mean, yeah, I probably would have had that facial expression too. So there was this big thing on the internet about the way she did not respond with, the smile and the clap and all of that. And I just thought, why do we have to be fake? Why can't she just be disappointed that she didn't win? I mean, I would have been.
Yeah.
So I was hoping she won, but kudos to Jamie Lee Curtis. We talked about this in the other quad. I didn't watch that movie, so I really can't give my opinion on whether I thought she was deserving of it. But yeah, I thought overall pretty decent show.
Okay. Ready to weigh in, Crawford?
I'm so ready. So here I'm going to go, and just stop me when you feel the need. I'll say this. I've always been a huge Oscars fan, ladies. Like, as in, I watched the pre-show to the pre to the show. So like by the time they won an award, I knew what brand of underwear they were wearing because I had been watching stuff all day. I was so invested in Oscars, right? And then a couple of years ago, when every actor just took themselves so seriously and started lecturing us on whatever, veganism, I don't care what it was. I just made a declaration one night. I'm so over this. I don't need these people telling me how to live my life. So it shocked everybody in my life because I used to go in so big on the Oscars. It was a full day at my house. So that said, and Joan Rivers and the Fashion Police, you guys, she would be so canceled today. Like that was where my head was. I loved all of that. This year, you said we're going to talk about it. I said I shouldn't even be on the show. I don't watch it anymore. So I went and I did a little research. And to me, there are two stories that have come out of the Oscars. One is, it's like the contrast between, and I wrote this so I could pronounce it, Ke Huy Quan, AKA Short Round, winning the Oscar and like reuniting with Indiana Jones. To me, like the most beautiful moment on the planet. That's the kind of win I want to see. That's the kind of speech I want to see. I freaking loved it. The other big story was like the Ashley Graham interviewing Hugh Grant and the whole internet going crazy over this Hugh Grant interview. And I'm sitting here saying to myself, have you seen a movie with Hugh Grant? Do you know Hugh Grant? He is dry. He is sarcastic. And he was answering the questions, in my opinion, as Hugh Grant does. Like, why is everyone calling this guy such a dick? Amanda, cue your mic. I mean, I want to know what you guys think. But to me, Hugh Grant was being Hugh Grant. And the fact that people made such a big deal of that freaked me out. But overall, I'm coming in with a hard yes. And I wish I would have watched it because as much as we know I hated the movie that won, I love that Jamie Lee Curtis won. I freaking love her. I love her badassery. I love that Michelle won. I love that Ke Huy Quan won. And, and I felt bad for Angela Bassett. And I felt really bad for Austin Butler because I thought Elvis was freaking amazing. And that kid rocked my world. That's where I'm coming in. And that's having not even seen the show.
Whew. Okay. Boom. So we can just call the alphabet Data from Goonies, right? We've earned that, right? He's sweet Data. No, so that, to me, that was the best moment of the Oscars. Amanda, I'm going to give you a total 180. I thought I wasn't going to watch the Oscars and keep this in mind. I've had Oscar parties for the past decade plus. We've talked about roll out the red carpet. And this year I did not. I decided just to keep it low key. And I, coming off last year was really disheartening because I had my kid with me and he looked at me and goes, is this really friggin' happening? I'm like, yeah, apparently it is with the whole slide. I just felt like the whole thing last year just really turned me off. This time around, I left the Oscars with, I felt by and large, it was very, very feel good. It's what entertainment is supposed to be. I don't think people exploited their platforms to talk about sexuality, politics, the crisis in Ukraine or whatever they feel the need to talk about. And I found the whole thing very lovely. And I would agree that maybe Jimmy Kimmel didn't go there, but I don't think any of us really wanted him to. I think he set the stage for, this is going to be a feel good. This is going to be light and airy, and it's going to be popcorn and hors d'oeuvres. That's my take. Anyone want to weigh on the Hugh Grant thing? Because I did kind of think he was a little bit of an asshole, Randy. I
thought, okay, I want to say this, like, I agree with Randy. On the other side, everyone's like commending her for like, keeping it together. But I felt like he was really opening the door for some funny opportunity to like sass back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I would be like, well, okay, then, like, you ain't got nothing for me. Like, all right, well, like, move it on, then keep stepping. Like she kind of played to the camera, and maybe she was nervous and just thought that's what I need to do. But it's like, she played it safe. And I would have rathered her like flip the script on him. I thought that would have been a better.
So just someone that interviews, that's what we do, Michelle and Amanda as well. You kind of want a little, like, she was throwing everything but the kitchen sink at this guy to try to get him to talk. And he was giving her nothing.
She asked him, like, what are you wearing?
I know.
Like, come on, like, let's with the puff question. And I get it. Like, but at the same time, like, I agree with Randy. Like, what do you think he's gonna say? Like,
he's British. He's British. Come on, know your audience, right? Know your audience.
But, I get it. You're on camera. You're on a major network doing the questioning. But I thought it would have been great if because she's a celebrity herself. I thought it would have been even better if she kind of gave it back to him. I thought that would have been fun.
Okay. Any final thoughts? I just want to say for the record, Randy, I was spot on with all of the winners.
Because I hadn't done
bar.
my research this time. So I really had no idea. But what I do find interesting about my reaction is, as much as we turned the movie off, it was so bad.
Yeah.
But I was still so happy for every one of those winners. I mean, I love Jamie Lee Curtis winning that award. To me, it was more like a Lifetime Achievement Award than it was for that movie, because what I saw of her in it was so minimal anyway, but I didn't even care. I felt bad for Angela Bassett, but I did love that they won just because of who each of them were, and that they were so genuinely happy to win that they didn't take their platform and ruin it.
Yeah. Okay. Let's take our platform and ruin it right here, right now. I'm loving this next topic.
Oh, no.
And I'm going to tell you, I called Randy because I was at our local supermarket and my kid came home. So, we got to now have food in the fridge. And I had a full friggin' basket. And there was one checker. And the line was like something you'd see at the highlight of a Disney ride. Okay. And so I said, well, screw this noise. I'm going to self-check, which if you've ever done that with veggies, it's not friggin' easy. And as I'm looking around, there are 3 people standing there that are presumably checkout people just watching me. I guess to make sure I don't steal any tomatoes or I count all the bags correctly. I don't know. But let's talk about customer service, because I feel like the onus is on us to serve ourselves. Or if we do get served, we get it with 9 times out of 10 an attitude, and then throw on the fact that we have to tip. Let's go. Randy, I'm starting with you, babe.
Well, okay, but you're not going to necessarily like my response, because I'm going to say this to you. I, as you know, life coach during the week, but on the weekends I work in retail. Mm-hmm. And I'm just going to say this, ladies.
Go for it.
Used to be, and my whole life growing up, the concept, and we all know the saying, the customer is always right. Here's what I want to say. After COVID, it's like people forgot how to treat people who are in customer service. So while I used to go in at my job and love to serve the customer, I run around for you like I'm a freaking Sherpa and we're climbing the mountain. But today, post-COVID, women come in, and man, they're nasty, Lori. They're mean. I watch them cuss out our girls at the cash register all the time. And so my feeling about customer service is, I think, now granted, retail is not the same as a grocery store. And I have that same crap happen to me at the grocery store, but I think you probably have a hard time finding people that want those jobs. And so you have very few people. And I would like to add, like at Anthro, we get really long lines, right? That form. And I personally don't work the cash register, specifically because I don't like getting cussed out. I like being with happy people and making people happy. So just this last Sunday, really long line. Woman sees me walking through the store and tries to flag me to put me behind the register. And I'm like, lady, like I can't, you don't want me behind the register. You'll be here for a month. So I tell you all that because I think that, yeah, customer service has probably gone south because customers have gone south. And it's really, really hard for me to be on the side of the customer anymore because I've seen people post-COVID and they're just not nice.
Okay. I love that. Michelle?
Yeah, I think, yeah, I mean, I'm soaking it all in because I'm laughing to myself because I always think, I'm like, people don't want to work, man. They can't find people to work. There's so many places. I'm here in Florida. I mean, there's so many places where places that have closed because they can't find people that want to work. And then the ones that do, they got a little taste of being home for a while. And they're like, yeah, they're kind of like, they're there, but they don't want to be there. So they're probably not going to go the extra mile. It is 100% tough. I've worked in the service industry before for many years. So I go in always thinking about what it's like because I've been on the other side. I think people are, we've definitely got a world of people that are entitled. So I think it depends on where you're going, where you're shopping. As for the grocery store, I mean, I agree. My tolerance level is low. So I'm like, come on. I mean, 3 people standing there. The tipping thing does drive me crazy because no matter where I go, it doesn't matter if it's a 2-second exchange, they now have that on the credit card terminal. So you almost feel like guilty. It's on every receipt, everywhere you go as a tip. I'm like, is this on top of the tip that I already gave? So then I have like guilt. Like, I'm like, oh, I really should. Then you go to the grocery store, everywhere I go now is asking me to donate. So let me give you an example. I go to the grocery store. We have Publix here in Florida. I go like 3 times a week because I always forget my list and I forget things. And so every time I go, and then I'm like, oh, I already did last time. I've got grocery store anxiety because I know that they're always asking. And I think it doesn't matter if it's CVS, Walgreens, every place you go is asking to donate or has included a tip. And I think it's wrong.
Yeah. I'm going to caveat that. I was at a little Mexican restaurant local that's fantastic. And we couldn't even put in our credit card until we addressed the tip. And the tip was like 20%. It was 20 or 30%. Those were the only 2 options on the screen. The gal standing right there. And I said to her, I just paid $2.85 for my tostada to have a side of sour cream. No tip for you. And, but she kind of laughed, but it has gotten ridiculous. And you get put on the spot. You feel like an asshole. You go to Petco and do you want to, they're looking at you. Like, are you going to donate to the homeless doggy fund? And I'm like, no, I'm not. I don't know. So I'm going to.
I mean, I always do. I always do. Because like I said, I feel guilt. I'm like, okay. And I'm like, we'll just round up or whatever. But I definitely think it's gotten out of control. As for servers, I will always over and above just because I know what it's like to be on that other side. But I think that we need to look at are they actually serving food or is it just they were at the counter and they handed you something? I mean, what's going on here?
Yeah. Well, you know what I would say, Michelle, to what you just said? I think that people would do so much better, Lori, with this whole tipping world if it was just, obviously, when you go to a restaurant, you tip your server. That's a no-brainer. But when you're talking about just the everyday, I want to buy my groceries or I want to buy something and they're looking for a tip, if all they did was just rounded it up, I think so many more people would participate in that, from 82 cents up to the next dollar. That I think a high percentage of people would do that because it could be, from 75 cents to it's always going to be. So you round up, you never feel bad about that. But it's just when they're constantly asking you for something, when all they've done is you've ordered something and they're handing it to you. That's crap. That's ridiculous.
Well, and then I know, and we're going to pass it to Amanda, but I just want to say this, and not to mention, I don't know if I fully am comfortable with the charities because we all know that there's a big percentage of money that charities have that goes to the people that shouldn't. So I'm a little leery about that too. Like,
Mhm.
you know, I want to know more information. Where is my money going? So
Okay, we're gonna have Amanda weigh in. She's been silent over there.
I've been silent because I'm baffled. This is not something that happens on the East Coast. We don't tip any type of, I mean, we tip our waitresses and waiters, but going out to the grocery store or a retail, you don't tip. That's like not a thing at all. So knowing, if I had to do that, I don't know how I see. I'm very particular when I go to the grocery store. I have my people that I go to. I'm not a self checkout person because I was just raised old school. My grandparents always told me that was taking food off of someone's table. That's a job someone could have. So I try to avoid self checkout. So I have my particular people because I know I'll have good conversation with them. I know that they're good at, what they do. They're good at, having that customer service, having that, hey, how you doing? Like just being kind people. So that being said, I can't imagine like the whole tipping thing. That's crazy. That's so
Yeah.
it's crazy they don't do it on the East Coast because we're getting
No.
hammered down here in Florida. Like, and everybody talks about it. We're like, what? Wait, what? You just handed me like
just to clarify something though, we don't tip retailers. Like if you go
Okay.
into a shop,
Right.
but to buy a t-shirt, I haven't run into a tipping
I
thing
don't
there.
know. Sometimes I'm telling you, these new credit card
No.
terminals, there's tip all kinds of places. I
But
don't know if
it's mostly, I think, food services or any service that we get hit, and it's really where I draw the line is where if you're just taking my damn order, that's your job. And
Yeah.
maybe this is a bigger global issue that if you're not making enough, like I'm happy with, the dialogue again about raising minimum wage, because basically we're subsidizing for the organization. So if the organization has a mechanism for us to have to be upcharged on them just providing the job that they're supposed to provide, then that should be on them. Pay them more. Okay, so let's get back to customer service. Let's get off of gratuity and all that stuff. So I have found this, and it is so frustrating that if you have an issue, you have no one to fucking call. Okay, so I'll give you an example. Venmo people, if you ever happen to listen, this one's on you. I had about $1,900 tied up in my son's account. And the only way to resolve it is on an online chat where I was prompted with questions that didn't pertain to my issue. I could get nowhere. I had to wait for emails that never came. Where are the fucking people? Okay.
I mean, I'll weigh in on that. That happens to me. So I never do Uber Eats. I know the young people all do that, DoorDash and everything, but that is all technology. It is all. So I tried it one time in my life. One time I was like, I'm going to do this. Like I'm jumping in. I order a meal from a restaurant that I've eaten at a lot. It's practically double the price. Doesn't come when it says it's going to come. So then my daughter teaches me how to look on and see the map. You can see where they are. And they have passed my house several times. So I'm like, who do I call about this? I live in so angry. You just get crazy. And when it comes to food and you're starving, like I will never do an Uber Eats or a DoorDash again. So not for me.
Yeah. Okay, Amanda, you're a little bit younger than us. Am I being an old fogey by saying if I have a problem, I don't want to have necessarily a chat with someone who perhaps is in Bangladesh? I don't know.
No, I agree. And I think, having a husband who owns a restaurant and utilizes those, online DoorDash or whatever, whatever app you use. It's some of the times the raft gets thrown on him because they're not able to get in touch with those people. So they take out their frustration on the restaurant itself, which they really have nothing to do with it. Which kind of like, you're stuck between a rock and a hard place if you're the consumer trying to get your food. And again, the prices, I agree, you're paying like $20 in fees and tax, and it's outrageous just to get your food delivered. Yeah, tip. Of course, you got to tip them. And sometimes my biggest pet peeve is getting something. Now, these people are not connected, so you don't know who they are. They're not connected to the restaurant. They're delivering your food, and there's nothing that's sealing, if you get a drink, especially, there's no sticker over the drink. my mind always goes to worst case scenario. I'm like, someone pissed in this drink and I'm about to drink it. That's it.
God.
And I can't help it. If it doesn't have a sticker on it, I don't care how much I pay for it. It's getting dumped.
Wow, piss.
Just
We got your phallic microphone.
Well, yeah, it's a theme today.
Get your mind right, Amanda. All right, Michelle.
Okay, so when it comes to customer service, and especially what you were saying, I have to be in the right state of mind. Like I have to really prepare myself because I already know that I'm going to blow up if I don't say, okay, I got to make this call. I'm going to schedule an hour because it might be a 2-minute, but I already know that they're going to put me on hold. And then I'm going to give the same information probably 3 times. That's always, I'm like, I know you have a CRM system. Like I know it's in front of you and someone is tracking this information. Can't you just go and read the notes? But I know they're not. So I leave it at that. The thing that drives me crazy, I don't know if anyone else has gone through this, is when that's something where I'm trying to give some information and they ask you, they prompt you with questions about yourself in order for you to go to the next step. Like it'll be like, did you own a 1984 Hyundai, whatever? And I'm like, did I? Or like, did you have this insurance? They do that. Banks do that. And I'm like, I am almost 50 years old. I have lived in many places. I've owned many cars. I've had different jobs. I can't remember everything. And they start asking you prompts from like things from the 1980s. My husband thinks it's funny because I'm like, I get them wrong. And they're like, I'm sorry, we cannot, verify your identity. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. It's me. Like, what do you mean? So I don't know if you've gone through that, but I had several times where I've failed my own verification questionnaire.
Yeah. Well, I think banks do that a lot. Like, what was your first car?
Yeah.
What was the first city? Yeah. Okay. How about this one? This is another thing that I've been really kind of salty about lately is people that own businesses or are service providers who make you feel when you politely, I mean, no one wants a Karen. No one wants a Karen. Poor Karen.
Karen.
Or Ken. There's Kens too.
Yes,
there's
Kens.
Kens. Yes, Ken.
Can't forget the Kens.
No one wants that. But if you respectfully disagree or want the proper service and they make you feel like they're doing you a favor, anyone get that? Like I've gotten that recently a few times and I've had to make changes. I
will say that I get that at restaurants lately. So even though I started out my career in Nantucket in a restaurant, I feel like when we go out to eat now and we start out and we order our margaritas or whatever, a lot of times the server will walk up to us and you just feel like you're bothering them. Mm-hmm. Like you're like, I'm sorry. Like you almost feel guilty for ordering your drink and then you order it with salt and they don't bring it with salt. And you're like, do I say anything? And then you're like, screw it, I'll let it go. But then you order your next margarita and that one doesn't have salt too. So then you're like, oh, can I just, and you almost feel guilty for doing it. But I've gotten to the point where I'm like, listen, people, I love that I work in customer service. So I know where I'm crossing a line and come on now, like, fool me, what, like mess it up once, it's fine. But you know what I mean? You just feel like you're bothering them or taking them away from a conversation and I'm over it.
Okay, wait. I have to just tell you this quick little story, and then we'll move on to Michelle and Amanda. So I was at a restaurant, and the same kind of thing happened. Like, I should be so grateful that he's strolled up to the table, and it took him a while to get there. Like, we were like, is he going to come over and acknowledge our existence? And then he went into this, like, it was a dissertation of all the specials. You guys, I'm not even kidding. It went on for like a couple minutes. And so I couldn't help myself. I looked him in the eye and I said, you know what? I'm really sorry. My hearing aid went out right when you started telling the specials. Can you repeat that? And I thought he was going to lose his mind. And yeah, so.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew that was going to come out of your mouth.
Okay. Amanda, lay it on us.
I mean, we all have our moments where we have that dreadful hostess or waitress or whatever. I think they have to remember it reflects in, what kind of tip they make. That's a part of, what they do and being kind and being respectful and showing up at your job like you want to be there despite maybe having a bad day and not really wanting to be there makes all the difference for me. I try to just take it with a grain of salt because I know people do have bad days. I recently had an instance where I had an overly abundant waitressing, I guess you could call it. And at one point I was like, would you like to
When you
sit
say
down
that,
with-"
do you mean she had a big rack or?
No.
Oh, okay.
It was a he. No, he just, was like every so often, like I would go to like between eating and talking. Every time I would go to talk, he would, can I get you anything? Can I get you anything? And I couldn't speak. So at one point I was like, would you like to sit down and join us? I mean, you've gone above and beyond. But he did a really great job. I just think at the end of the day, it's going to be reflected in your tip. I'm not going to ruin my night and get all flustered and get into an argument. It's just going to be reflected in what you receive at the end with the check.
Okay. Final closing remarks, Michelle. What did we
Yeah,
leave out on this?
I've just set the bar low so that my expectations so I'm not disappointed. And I really appreciate, when someone is, like Amanda said, just kind and shows respect. And I get everybody's out there working hard, but we have to think about just how we're treating each other. And I will always go above and beyond when I see somebody, but I really do. I set the bar really low because I'm like, then I'm not going to get my frustration. Same thing with my customer service calls. I'm setting the expectation for myself because I feel like I've had to, I've been disappointed too many times or had too many other issues when it comes to service.
Okay. I'm going to leave with a scary little fact. Here's where it really worries me from just someone in the community is our economy is a service economy, and we are like, get a grip, people. I mean, if it's not going anywhere, we're 80% service industry. We don't manufacture. We don't create product. We are the service economy. So if we don't fix this, there's people on the other side of the planet. I always use Bangladesh because I feel like they're always from Bangladesh when I get them on the phone, and they're lovely. They're willing to work, and they're willing to work like 15-hour days. So if you think that, you can pull some of the stuff off, I think long-term you're wrong. All right. I think we did good, guys. Gang. We had,
Fabulous.
Amanda's little friend in the house, and yeah.
Where'd he go?
There he is. I don't know. Okay. All right, guys. Hey, everyone. If you want to weigh in on anything we've said, we'd love to hear it. Come banter with us. Shoot us a DM. Call our hotline. I don't know. Send us an email. And let us know what you want to hear next week. All right? Thank you, Gales. Thank you, Gales.
Bye, girls.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Good job, guys. Follow us on Instagram at She's a 10 times 5. You can click on the link in our bio to listen to all of our previous episodes, as well as check out our live video interviews over our YouTube channel. You can also find us on Apple, Spotify, iHeart, pretty much wherever else you decide to listen to your favorite podcast. Don't forget to hit subscribe.